Hey there, comic friends. I'm Travis, and it's Talking Comics. This week, we're talking about comics for the week of April 10th, 2024. Let's jump right in. I'll start out with my complaining first. Earthdivers. Earthdivers, this is 1776, Part 6. This is the end of the series. This is the end of all three arcs. The end of this story in particular. By and all, I really enjoyed the 1776 arc. The play between our person who was going back in time and their conversation with Benjamin Franklin and whatnot, I quite enjoyed. I found it really interesting and stuff. What I have an issue with is when this ends, it ends very dubious, very I don't know if dubious is the word I want to use. You're not sure exactly what the ending is. You know, did they change time? Did they fix America? You know, because the whole premise of this thing is there's a group of Native Americans set way in the future. Things have gone to hell. People are trying to leave the planet and that sort of stuff because of how bad everything is. And this group of Indians have found a magic cave that they can go back, that they can go into, and they can go back in time. And their intent is to change what's going to happen in America to make life better for the indigenous people, Native Americans. They go back and they try and kill Christopher Columbus. That's a great story. There's a arc where a person ends up in Neolithic times. That one's got some good points in it and some not, whatever. This one ends up going back to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and changes some of the script in the Declaration of Independence, or attempts to. But yeah, so it ends with us not really knowing. And I wouldn't have a problem with that, leaving it up to us, the reader, to make our own conclusions as to what we think happened and what would that look like and what. And I'm all about that. That's fun. That's fun to read something and then spend time thinking about the what ifs involved and whatnot. And I'm totally down for that. But what bugs me is at the very end of this, it then says, in the trade, if you buy this third volume trade, you're going to get more story. There's more story, but we're not telling you. You people who've supported single issues the whole way along are not gonna get that story unless you buy the trade also. Rarely do I buy a trade on top of buying singles. And one of the reasons I buy singles is to maintain this. I know I don't do it by myself. I'm not unrealistic. But to maintain this whole system we have going that allows, let's get some money now for the creators so then they can pay some bills. So then on the back end, they get more money based on their trades or whatever. The thing is, but it literally says here, the end. Bonus chapter awaits in Earthdivers Volume 3. So what is that bonus chapter? Is that bonus chapter real answers as to what happens at the end of this? That's irritating, and guaranteed I will not pick up the trade. Maybe you will. Cool if you do. Let me know what that bonus story is that I'm not getting. But that kind of smokes me that my reward for helping support a book as it's going along in monthlies, because it needs a certain amount of monthly sales to exist outside of that, for them to make a trade, for them to get a second, if they have more story to tell, it's based largely on some of those monthly sales. And you punish me for buying it monthly instead of buying it in trade. That's what it feels like. I know when you get trade, sometimes you get the extra pages of sketches or how to or process or whatever. And sometimes you'll get that in the thing, whatever. But actual story, to me, that feels way more important and way more aggravating otherwise. But like I said, that 1776, I really enjoyed. The character that's going back in time to deal with all of that sees Benjamin Franklin in high regard by and large. Has problems, as all our founding fathers do. So it's really interesting them having a conversation with Benjamin Franklin. So I really did enjoy that. I guess another book for me to grumble about. I'm going to grumble about books today because I'm going to talk real about the books. I love the people that doing the book. Colin Bunn, Andre Muti, Wooten. Love these people. Love these creators. Pick up whatever they're doing. As a general rule, I'll read it, and because I'm that kind of a fan. And on top of that, I like them as dudes too. But this 12 issues, Legacy of Violence, I feel like could have been done in 6. This is the final issue. We get some answers at the end of this as to why some of this is happening. But it was a long road to get to this, of a lot of just maiming and killing. Disembodied Voice described it as torture porn, and I argued with her that I didn't think it was really torture porn. And then we don't, other than a couple issues with some surgeries in it, we don't really see the actual 100% graphicness. We get the implied graphicness about it. So I guess it's still, I don't know. But I don't know, maybe it would have been better if they would have shown it all. Because a lot of it didn't have, it was unimpactful. First couple issues, set things up, get things rolling, smoking. You think something's happening. Then you get around issue 4 or 5, clear up until probably issue 11. It's just kind of, I don't know, not necessary story to tell what we got by the end of this, to tie it into the Nazis and some of that stuff and whatnot. Kind of disappointed for 12 issues. Did not feel like there needed to be 12 issues here. But yeah, Legacy of Violence. Ooh, Outsiders, issue number 6. Enjoyed the heck out of this story. Still, yet again, the adventure itself is a one and done contained within this issue. Clearly there's a larger story being told. What are the Outsiders about? Some of that kind of stuff is really interesting. If you're a planetary purist in that no one can touch anything that has to do with planetary, if you do, it's a sin. Obviously, you've been picking up the book in the first place because it has Drummer in it and stuff like that, or somebody who calls themselves Drummer. We find out they're actually somebody different, which I think is really cool. I love planetary. It is an excellent contained thing. But I don't mind them playing with it either. They're not changing anything that happened in the past. That's all super rock solid and isn't going anywhere. Sort of a thing. This is taking some of those structures, some of those wall hangings, and hanging them up in their house. Sort of a thing. So we're playing with some stuff. This issue for sure kind of really dipped into some of those aspects of the old planetary ideas, and it does some name dropping in this issue. I just thought it was fun. I'm really enjoying the book. It's like blowing my mind, no, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And like I said, one of the biggest strong points is there seems to be an adventure in every issue, and the adventure ends of every issue. So you can pick it up and, by and large, I think, understand what's going on in the book. I subscribe to the big two. You can pick it up anywhere in the book, and you're any big two book, jump in anywhere. You're not going to be that confused by. You may have some questions, but it doesn't take very many issues to figure out whatever the heck's going on. But this, like I said, each adventure is contained within it. Like the older version of comics, I find that really fun. And then if you're somebody who's reading it issue to issue, you also get this reward of these moments building on these characters and what it might give them in the future. I'm really curious to see what happens next. This issue is, like I said, is fun. They go someplace that is literally between the pages. There are characters in this book who are canceled or, their book just quit. They were killed, or whatever. And they kind of talk about it. They kind of talk about the fact that, oh man, because they see these people there and like, oh geez, either you got to get out of here because they think you're dead, but you're not really dead, or oh man, your story is just they decided to quit telling it, and you're in trouble. So some fun stuff in there, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun with that book. Written by Lanzine and Kelly are the writers on it, and Carrie is doing the art, and all serviceable work for sure. Napalm Lullaby, issue number 2. I've seen a lot of people talking about this. We all kind of wondered on issue 1. So issue 2 gives us more backstory and a why. Why is this going on? A bigger idea of what the stakes are. There's still a lot of questions in this. Our 2 characters here. We get a little more on them. They have powers, it seems like, in some sense or another. So I'm interested. I think that this is either a short comic, in that it's just going to be about this struggle with named religion and taking it down or not taking it down, and what all that potentially implies. There's some good conversation here about, hey, since that we're taking it all down, let's put up what we want. And the conversation, no, if we put up what we want, we're just recreating what was there before. It might be different, but it's the whole same thing. No free will, no agency to do your own thing, because we're going to force our version of whatever on somebody. And that's kind of the whole point of getting rid of this. And the argument that, no, we're getting rid of this because it's just bad. And while we're at it, somebody has to write it. Somebody's going to write it. Why not be us? I enjoy that conversation. I'm curious to see if we see more of that as it goes along, as if they succeed, and the temptation of that. So this whole Napalm Lullaby could be long. You could tell us quite a while and explore a lot of that stuff, or this could be reasonably short, in that we either conquer or don't conquer God, because their goal is to wipe out God. And my understanding is that whole structure that's involved there, because it's basically neutered society, and this is how it has to be. This is what it is, and there isn't anything else. So I'm down for that. Bengal's art, I quite enjoy it in this. For this, I don't know. It feels like it matches up to the story really well. So digging that. I'm in for the haul, whichever version of that is. This issue was solid. Every page had good conversation, or gave us something to think about and whatnot. So good stuff. Looking forward to that. Next we have Phantom Road issue number 10. Jeff Lemire, Gabriel Walta, and Jody Boer are the creators of it. Another excellent issue. This just gets deeper and deeper into what the hell is going on, how many conspiracies are there. The stuff with the FBI detective is really, really interesting, as she continues to kind of find out more about maybe what happened to her as a child, how that ties into what happened to her father, how that ties into what's happening to her now. And then we have, of course, our two truck drivers here, Dom and Birdie, struggling to get their transport across the finish line. They've run into yet another hiccup, another somebody trying to collect what they're hauling. And it'll be curious to see what the conflict is there. Just really great imagery by Walta and Belair. Just really enjoy the way the book looks. And I just hope that Lemire stays on, is driven to give us a full, complete story. That's always my fear with the book. I don't know why I'm not showing art in all of these. But yeah, I think it's great. It's kind of muted, dusty pages when we're in this other reality, doing things. And then we get back to the regular world and see how it's much crisper and cleaner art. It's just like, it's like somebody, scraped or wiped something over all of the pages that are in this other reality where they're doing this transporting their stuff. It's just really cool. Like I said, and then you get the stuff where it's, the here and now, and it's all just really crisp, colored art. To me, that's just extra smart storytelling. It's just another element about comics that's just fabulous. That being able to shift it in your head without maybe if you're not even really noticing it, just oh wow, look, it's there. Your brain's picking up on it. Just smart comics. Really enjoying it. Lots of good stuff there. Another issue that comic that ended. This is Dark Spaces Dungeon number 5, right? Yeah, number 5, Scott Snyder book with Hayden Sherman on art. It's been this whole story about this detective chasing down some serial kidnapper, I guess is what they would be called, who then once kidnaps puts them in like these vaults underground that are basically giant torture chambers and tortures them. And, in a lot of cases, it's also torturing whoever's loved ones are attached to that person and whatnot. So we definitely get an ending here. I like the ending. It's kind of a terror horror ending. The book is a horror book as far as suspenseful kind of, the suspenseful terror of somebody snatching people up, snatching your children up, and torturing them in horrible ways for their entire lives. It doesn't torture and kill. Torture remains, heals, torture remains, heals, torture remains, heals 20, 30 years. Our main character is a victim of that managed to escape. And the ending in this is dark. It's brutal and it's pretty cool. I really enjoyed this, quite a bit. So happy for checking that out. I don't see any more Dark Spaces books on the horizon. I think IDW, by and large, IDW was also the people who put out the Earthdivers book. I think their original line, by and large, is going away. I think G. Willow Wilson's and Wild Goose. I want to say it's something Goose artist on The Dusk and the Dawn. That book, as my understanding, is still going to be produced. But otherwise, all of this stuff that was listed as IDW Originals, I think is what it was called. I'm not seeing it now. They've taken it off their covers. Are done. So I don't know. I don't know what IDW's got going on. I was kind of hoping that they would continue to explore doing creator-driven work. I don't want to call it creator-owned because in the reality, if you look at their contracts and whatnot, my understanding is by and large, most people who are putting out books on them are giving up a lot of the control of their IP as far as if somehow it gets picked up or somebody chooses to make the TV movies or any of that sort of stuff out of it, that they control most of that. But I think most of the comic book companies in reality are that way, with the exception of Image Comics, or if you're somebody who somehow manages to score a specific contract that allows you something. But that's a whole other conversation. Let's see. And the last issue to talk about is House of Slaughter, issue number 22. Things start to come to a head in this issue. We got the two houses that are hunting down Jace Blanchard, the last of the House of Butchers. And they think they've got a booby trap set for him, and it goes south. Really interesting at the end of this. Jace having to are kind of dealing with some own personal ghosts and potential ghosts that are coming. Based on people that he liked, but that may have helped him, but he may have betrayed at the same time. Some really good stuff. Like I said, I continue to enjoy House of Slaughter as a larger picture of what's going on in this universe, the Something's Killing Children universe. I'm looking forward to hopefully maybe getting done with this storyline, because I've enjoyed some of the other storylines too. So I hope we get back into some other stories too that deal with other hunters and that sort of stuff and whatnot, because it's just kind of cool to see other stuff. But definitely been enjoying this storyline. Continue to enjoy Something's Killing the Children. And that is it for this week. I am going to jump off of here and get some tea and read some comics so I am prepared for next week. What'd you read? What did you read that week? Or what are you reading now? What's awesome? Am I missing something? Did you read some of these books I read and I'm missing some piece of it that clearly I'm a ding-a-ling for not having noticed, or you think it's cool and tell me why it's cool versus why I'm saying maybe I didn't think it was cool. Anyway, let's have a conversation. Anyway, and I'm mumbling now, so talk to y'all later.